I think
There
it's.
we go.
Is it working? Well, I see you
fading
now.
in.
I see you now.
I'm fading in.
Are you faded in like a melody? Oh my goodness, is this actually working?
Actually.
I hope so. I hope so. Okay, so, alright. Now I'm all messed up. I'm way too loud.
I'm all
Okay.
messed up.
Okay, so, we are actually trying, failing, to go live on YouTube right now. So, this video will be live, hopefully. Well, if you watch it later, it's not live. It's only live if you're watching it now.
This is live.
We're live
Later's not live.
now. So if you watch it later, it's not live. So, I'm amazed. Hopefully it works. I hope. So, for the YouTube folks, if you end up being able to actually watch the video, you can listen to the entire show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, or whatever it's called now, Anchor,
Grab your anchor, listen.
Spotify.
Get the thing in.
And,
telescope. Get your telescope and spot us. There you go.
Probably other places we don't even know about yet.
Hey,
so,
yes.
Excellent. I'm very proud. So, there's that.
Ahoy, matey!
Ahoy, yar!
My favorite letters are.
Yar. So, for the audio folks, you can watch the video, I hope, on YouTube.
Please.
Also, we have a secondary YouTube channel called #Explore. We're working on getting a bunch of videos up there, and we're going to have longer edits of videos that exist on this channel.
Yeah.
So now that we got all that done,
Whoring.
we can. I know. I gotta get the horn out of the way. Gotta get the horn out of the way. Well, I've heard.
At least we whore for free.
I've heard from
Right
random people have informed me that they don't like a huge oh, ring the bell and subscribe, blah 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 blah. But it's like you have to remind people sometimes because sometimes they forget. So there's that. Now, my unemployed chronicles continue. Okay? And I had...
But it's beneficial. Beneficial for us.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to benefit from my own misery. That's... that's the American dream. Benefiting off your own misery.
I wish I could say that's a good movie, but I found misery.
What, Misery?
Yeah.
Oh, you know the thing that I hated about that was when she broke his legs.
Oh,
Spoiler alert. From someone who's broken their leg, it is not the best part for me. I wanted to vomit. Seriously.
Sledgehammer time.
Oh, God.
Sledgehammer time.
Not the greatest Stephen King story.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So, I had probably the weirdest job interview I've ever had.
Do tell.
I shall. Because it's really all I got.
Alrighty then.
Well, no, I got a few. I have notes. I have a few things. It's fine. It's fine. So, now, I was ready to go for this, right? I woke up early enough. I studied some of my answers. You know those answers where you where do you see yourself in 5 years? Hopefully alive. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I hate those questions.
I mean, and I was reading this article that said, what used to happen was people would give these answers like, oh, I see myself with this company and I'll still be here and blah, 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 blah. It's like companies now don't expect you to stick around long term. So they almost don't care if you're still there. You know what I'm saying? So kissing their ass and being like, oh, I plan on, being here and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you're better off doing a general answer which is something along the lines of like, well, I hope to continue to utilize my skills in this field kind of thing. Because at least that way it's like, oh, okay. But
Yeah,
I
plan on living in Hawaii with
I know.
4 women around me all day, and I got my own housekeeper named Alice. And
Alice?
pretty much.
Yeah. I plan on having cabana boys. Toss grapes at me. I don't know. So,
At the Copa.
don't you dare start singing that, because that will be in my head.
Copacabana.
I don't need it, and I don't want it. So I had all my answers ready to go, and it was going to be a video chat, right? So I got up early in the morning, and I was ready to go. And I got dressed up. I was fancy from the waist up. I was kind of fancy from the waist up. And I was in the room that we record in, my office, so I was sweating because it generally gets hot in here for no reason.
It'll be hot.
So I'm sweating in my sweater, which is doing its job, and I'm just like, I don't like this. And so, all right, so I had to download, because they didn't use Zoom or Google Meeting. They used some weird thing. So it's like I had to download an app, right?
I hate that.
Oh, God. So
Everybody wants you to download an app these days.
I mean, I didn't know I was going to have to download an app, because I would have done that beforehand. So now my meeting was supposed to start at 11:30, and I'm very like, if you say 11:30, we're starting at 11:30. And
Sure.
Now it's like 11:30 and 25 seconds, and I'm still downloading the fucking app, and I'm like, let's go. And it downloads. I have to register for the app. Now I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. So I'm going as fast as I can, and then I finally get in, right? And this woman's like working at her desk, and I'm like, hello.
Hello.
And she's like, oh, hi. You know those like old, they do it all the time. They make fun of it all the time on like The Simpsons or whatever. They'll have a character look at one and then they'll go, oh, hi. When they expect you. That's exactly what this was like. It was like, oh, hi. It's like you knew.
All right, on Liar Liar, Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
he did that with one of his bosses.
Yeah.
The one that he sleeps with.
Yeah.
Miranda! I didn't see you there.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hi. Hi there. I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such films as. So.
Freddie Washington. Hi there.
Yeah. So she says her hi. Now, I can only see this woman. There's supposed to be 2 of them, right? So I only see one. And then I hear the voice of another. So she's like, hello. So you should have known better than to drink. Let's get Sean choking on camera. So
What was the other one? Mrs. Doubtfire?
Hello. I don't fucking know, because I couldn't see her. Yeah, I'll fix that later. I couldn't see her. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna give out their names, and I'm not gonna tell you what this company was, but it was basically doing what I've done before, so which is like insurance stuff. So I figured I was more than qualified for this job, because the position is literally doing just what I was doing, right? So this interview begins, and here's the thing, right? I don't like, oh boy, this is going to get into my like pet peeve kind of things. I don't like when people introduce other people as funny. because they're never funny.
You mean the ones that crack themselves up? And you're over there like shaking your head behind the computer
Well,
screen?
I mean, it's like, okay. It's like, you're, alright, you think you're funny. So, the interview begins, and they proceed to tell me that, you know, we're serious and we get our job done, but we like to have fun. And I'm like, okay. So there was that. The first question was about my previous experience, which I answered. And then now we're getting into about the 10-minute mark. And the video is horrible. The audio is cutting in and out. It's probably one of the worst programs I've ever seen in terms of functionality. It's not doing anything. It's not doing its job, is what I'm trying to say. So then the woman ultimately goes, okay, can you take down my number and then just call this number direct? So I'm like, okay. That's great for me because that gets rid of the video portion.
My number. Call me maybe.
Yeah. I've got a job. Call me maybe. So I call the number. Now I'm back online. For the next 25 minutes, they proceed to just talk. That's it. And a lot of the conversation was them asking me if I'm okay with things. Are you okay with working from email? Are you okay with these hours? I'm not okay with the hours. Are you okay with this and that? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what angry individual did you have in this office that every 2 seconds was like, fuck this. I'm not working from this email anymore.
Drink.
I'm not working from email anymore. And then I'm not processing that. I'm not doing this anymore. Like, they spent 25 minutes telling me about various parts of the position. And then asking me if I'm okay with it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, if I'm not, what do we do? What is the plan if I'm not okay with it? So I mean I'm just sitting. I need a job, so I need to work. So I'm just like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. At one point, I was sitting there like, do you actually want me to speak?
Actually,
because I know, because I haven't really spoken.
Well, that sounds like a good interview.
It's a poor interview because I feel like I'm not participating, right? And then for the second time, the two of them had a back and forth, and then they're like, haha, see, we told you we have fun. And I was like, that was neither fun nor amusing. That wasn't even on the level of a chuckle. Like, I don't understand people who are like, oh, we have fun and see how goofy we are, but you're not funny.
But I hope they don't know about the show.
I didn't tell them about the show, and I spent several years at my old job avoiding that question. But it was the strangest interview, and a friend of mine brought up a good point, because I told her all about this, and she goes, ugh. And I said, yeah, she goes, how long was this interview? And I said, well, it was 10 minutes before we went to just phone, and then that was another 25 minutes. Oh, and then, at about the 25-minute mark, my phone disconnected. Like, I hung up. And I actually stared at my phone and went, fuck. And then I went, should I call back? Like, what's protocol? Do you call back? And I was like, I don't really want to. So, I was like, they don't really need me. That's why I didn't want to call back. I mean, they just kept talking. So I said, okay, well, I'll call back. So I called back, and she goes, I heard a click. I wondered where you went. And I was gonna say something. I was gonna be like, well, I went to the bathroom or something. You're like, well, I went to Argentina and I came back. But I was like,
Tijuana, you maybe
yeah.
want to go get something.
Yeah, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna try. So I said, well, I got disconnected somehow. And she's like, okay. And then we, oh, technology, isn't that funny? Yeah.
We have fun here.
Yeah, we have fun here. So I was telling a friend of mine about this, and she was shaking her head. She goes, what is with these people?
Happy bills.
And I said, I don't know. And she goes, first of all, people who spend a lot of time telling you not only that they're funny, but that their office is fun, she goes, are neither. She goes, not only are they not fun, but the office is not fun either. She goes, if they have to convince you. I said, exactly. And then she goes, well, if that was me, I probably would have ended that interview pretty quick. And I said, I kind of wanted to. I was like, but I need to work. I'm kind of stuck, right? She goes, oh, I get it. She said,
I got stuff I want to buy.
Seriously. I do have stuff I want to buy. That's my problem. I'm like, well, I gotta pay bills and I need to buy more shit.
Like a vest for shoes.
Oh, yeah, that tack vest. I want that tack vest. I hate wearing a vest, too. But it has all these pockets. I know, me and my pockets.
I don't mind a vest.
Really? I don't like
I've always been a fan of Stone Cold, so.
I don't like a vest.
I just don't like them buttoned or zipped up. To me, like, if you're going to wear a vest,
Yeah.
you like a normal looking vest.
Yeah.
No, like a sweater vest. I hate those damn things.
All right, Chandler.
And I think they look silly when they're buttoned or zipped up in the front. Like a biker vest.
Yeah. I don't,
To me, they shouldn't be zipped up in the front. Or buttoned.
I'm going to do a little more research. But anyway, so this friend says, I would have taken a cue from the cell phone and just ended the interview right there. And I
the
said...
phone's telling you something.
Exactly. And I said, I really should have just done that.
Let me do it for you. Click.
I really should have just done that. So she goes, well, how do you feel it went? And I said, I don't know. Because I didn't really partake. You know what I'm saying? Like, they spent 20 minutes asking me if I'm okay with things. And then...
You should have just nodded.
I know. Over the phone, yeah. Nodding at the drive-thru. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a little leery about why they kept asking me if I'm okay with things, first of all. And so I said, I don't know. That's what Jay said too. He goes, what hothead used to work there that just used to flip out over the littlest things they keep asking about? I said, I don't know.
Did they tell you what the hours are?
Oh, it's like 8:30 to 5. I hate those hours. Right? Ugh. So I'm not looking forward to that.
I thought you were going to tell me it's like 2 in the afternoon until 10 at night.
No, I wouldn't have applied for
or
anything
jumps
like that.
around. Like retail hours?
No, I wouldn't. Oh, you alright there?
I'm stepping on the cord. I didn't know what the hell I was stepping on.
No, I wouldn't have pursued that. I don't work past 5 o'clock ever anymore. But I wasn't happy with the hours because I think 8 or 9, the 9 to 5 or the 8.
9 to 5.
It's the what a way to make a living, man. Or like 8 to 5, like those hours. I just think it's an antiquated idea, and not everybody. That doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't work for me. I'd prefer to be in early and out early.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's nothing I can do. And
still good. It's still good.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm.
You said after 5 you don't want to work.
No.
It's still 5.
So I don't know. And then
should have said, "Can I start at home?"
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I did ask them about that, and I said, "What are you guys doing in terms of like employee safety?" And they were basically like,
Ooh,
"Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you gotta fiddle. Sometimes you gotta fiddle to get things done." So basically, they're not fully in the office yet, and she's like, oh, and then, so on top of, like, being discombobulated about the interview, she goes, yeah, we literally have no idea how we're going to train the new employees. And I'm like, awesome. Awesome. So you have no plan. This interview is a clusterfuck. And, I mean, I'm just sitting there just laughing. I'm like, oh my God. So both a friend of mine and Jay goes, well, how do you feel about it? And I said, I don't know. I said, if I base how the company operates from this interview, it's, I don't know, you know? And I said, coupled with the fact that they don't seem to know how they're going to do anything. Oh, and by the way, did they ask me if I'm okay with remote working or if I'm okay learning through remote? Yes, they did. Are you okay with it? What if I'm not? Really? What if I'm not? So I was like, yeah, I'm okay with it. Like, and then she's like, well, do you have like a computer in your house or anything? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, my old job gave me a laptop, and she's like, oh, we're not set up to give people laptops. And I'm like, oh, wow, what's happening? Really? I was just like, okay. I mean, there is a specific job. I definitely shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna.
Yay!
There is a specific job that I've been waiting on since June, and I spoke to the guy a month ago today, and the last time we spoke, he's Mr. Sit Tight. When I talked to him back in June, it was sit tight. And then I talked to him in August, and it was sit tight. And I was thinking about calling him on Monday, because it's been a month, and I'm still sitting tight. I mean...
I want to sit loose.
And that's actually the job that I want.
Go for that one first.
It's not as much money, and I don't even know what the hours are. It's a position that I held as a temp back in like 2012, right? Ooh, I'm hitting the mic. Back in like 2012, and I really liked it. And it's not stressful. It's very easy pace, which is what I want. Like I said, it's not as much money, but I would trade the money for the happiness. The difference financially would be probably $1 or $2.
Not bad.
No.
They're going to tell me like $5 to $7 difference.
No. But I mean, I have a feeling, because when I spoke to the guy the first time and he told me what the pay rate was, and I said, I can't go below this much. And he said, that's like our maximum. And I'm like, well, that's it then.
That's all, folks.
You pay me as much as you can. Because that's as little as I'll accept. So I don't know if they're dragging their heels because I asked for too much money. But the money that I asked for really isn't too much money. Mm-hmm. Not by today's standards. So I don't know. And then, this other job, they had asked what I was looking for pay. And I told them, and I got no reaction from what I had said. So I don't know if they're okay with that or what. So I don't know. I'm thinking Monday I'm going to call this other guy back, because I haven't yet heard from this job that I just interviewed with. And they seemed like they were going to get back to me sometime in the upcoming week. And I don't know. I told Jay, I'm like, I feel like I would just be taking it for the money, and I'm literally going to be miserable. I can feel it. I can already tell. I'm going to be miserable.
What are you going to be happy for first?
Well, I'm trying, but I'm sitting tight. You can only sit tight so much, man.
You want to wiggle.
I definitely want to wiggle. I need a little wiggle room. And I mean, I check my email every effing day for these guys. I'm like, when are you getting back to me? I have not heard yet. It's like, come on, man.
You're really bringing me over, man.
Yes. You're bringing me down. My gosh. So there's that. And that got me to thinking about other... Because I was trying to think, was this the weirdest... Well, I don't want to say worst, but at least weirdest job interview that I've ever had. And that's the dog.
Sure is. 4 legs and a tail.
Yeah. So, I mean, I interviewed once with Warner Brothers in Braintree.
Mm-hmm.
That interview took place on a bench outside the store. This isn't even COVID times. This is 96?
Wow.
Like 95, 96, yeah. And I don't remember everything that we talked about. I mean, he asked my previous work experience. It was like a retail thing. And he asked me, what?
Her.
Oh, the dog, yeah.
Every few seconds I'm getting that spot that she likes.
Poor Daisy. So, he asked me, like, what my favorite Warner Brothers character was. It's Daffy Duck, if anybody cares. And he said, interesting, why is it Daffy Duck? And I said, because I think... This is the answer that I gave. Follow me on this. And I said, I think it's because Daffy has more personality and he has more human traits than all the other characters. And he said, care to explain? And I said, well, he's a jerk. Yeah, and he goes, care to explain? And I said, yeah, he's a jerk. And he goes, like that. He's like, what? And I said, yeah, he's a jerk, but he knows he's a jerk. I was like, he has that self-awareness where he's like, yeah, you remember, I'm going to go, I don't want to go like down the rabbit hole. Did that on purpose. I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole of Warner Brothers stuff because I don't know how many people know Warner Brothers cartoons. But the rabbit season cartoon, which is the one where they argue, duck season, rabbit season, and then Elmer just shoots. He was literally putting rabbit tracks to Bugs' house, and as he's walking away, he's like, yep, I'm a stinker. And he's like, and then he goes, survival of the fittest, and it's fun. And I'm like, he's so self-aware that he's a jerk, and he's greedy, and he doesn't care that he's greedy. He's like, I know I'm greedy, I don't give a shit. I mean, that kind of like awareness, I always thought as a kid it was so funny. And he goes, the interviewer, he goes, wow. he goes, I've never even thought of that.
Blew my mind.
Yes, mind blown. What was his name? I feel like it was John or something. But I used to call him Eric Bischoff. Because he looked just like Eric Bischoff, if anybody remembers old school wrestling. Oh my god. I think his name was John. I don't remember. But I used to call him Eric Bischoff. So that's the only name that I have in my head.
Did you fire people over the phone like Eric?
No, but he was such a dick.
So was Eric. Yes.
I mean, he was an ass. Here's the thing, right? I hate when you go to check out and you go to like a store like that, specifically like Foot Locker or one of those stores where they try to get you to add on when you're about to finish your sale. It's like, oh, you know, these teas are 3 for $3. If I wanted 3, I'd have 3. I saw the sign. Phyllis. It's like, I don't want it. Would you, hey, these shoelaces are on sale. You want to add these to your purchase? Blah, blah, blah. No!
I always hated doing that when I was doing retail.
Me too. And
Pushing stuff on the people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I hate it.
Yeah. So I would refuse to do it. And he would get mad at me. You have to do the, you have to push this stuff. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't like when people do that. There are stores that I don't go into because they do that. Why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
The stuff, this is cool shit. It literally sells itself.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit here and be like, Beanie Baby. People want to buy a Bugs Bunny Beanie Baby, they're going to buy a Bugs Beanie Baby.
Say again 3 times fast.
If you want to buy a Bugs Beanie Baby, you're going to buy a Bugs Beanie Baby. There's not going to be any belittling. I tried to think of another B word just to round it all out. Anyway.
Bleep, 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 bleep. That's all, folks.
Bleep, bleep, bleep. So,
It's better than turkey.
yeah. And so I got the job, and then I found out that the job sucked because they wanted me to constantly push stuff. And so I pushed to get off of the sales floor. And that worked out for quite a while. And then it was starting to not work out for a while. So I ended up going over and interviewing at Sports Authority. Woo! Sports Authority!
Oh, one good thing came out of there.
Yeah.
Our friendship.
Yes. And, oh man. I got a call at Warner Brothers from Sports Authority, and she was setting up the interview, and my supervisor is like 2 feet away, pre-COVID, and she was like looking at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and then I turn around and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late on Thursday. Yes. So I ended up, I interviewed over there, and you know what made me angry about the Sports Authority thing is the woman I interviewed with, her name was Donna. Oh, Donna.
Oh, Donna.
And she came off like she was a nice person.
Yeah.
Until you got hired.
Yeah.
And she hated you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the
Unless
fuck?
your name was Paris. You seem to be all the women managers' favorite guy.
Well, and there was the other kid in my department who didn't show up for like 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And he was still like
Employed.
And I'm like, how? There is no excuse.
No.
Like, for that.
You did no calls, no shows.
No call, no show, and you get to keep your job? WTF? So, it was too funny because she was like...
We know how it's politics.
Yeah. So she goes... It was the Sports Authority thing. So she goes, well, do you mind if we, like, do a drug test? And I'm like, no, it's not a problem. And she goes, all right, cool. And
Why are there any drugs in your system? Go.
so she
Go do
said,
something, come back.
She said something. She's like, well, I'm going to need to take a piece of your hair. And I'm like, whoa, what? I'm not getting a haircut here today. This isn't a barber shop.
How about here? Take this one. It's white.
I know. You take all the white ones. Fuck off. I didn't have white hair back then. Jesus.
Some people do at an early age.
Yeah, I did, but you didn't really notice it. And now you can notice it.
This kid that I used to go to school with and be friends with for a while.
Yeah.
During high school, he had salt and pepper hair already. I would hate that.
I bet he could buy beer.
I don't know, he was as thin as a pole.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'd probably send him in there and have him say, give me a keg of beer.
I want a keg
Give
of
me
beer.
a keg
Of
of
beer.
beer.
So she's like,
And these.
yeah. She's
Where's
like,
that from?
So she's like, I'm going to take a piece of your hair. I'm like, oh, all right. I was like, how much? Because I'm not walking out of here with a spot. I got to go to work. So she's like, just a little thing. So she ended up taking some hair. And I was right. You didn't notice. And then I went back to Warner Brothers for work. And I ended up getting... I have never enjoyed lunch break, right? So at Warner Brothers, I didn't like to sit in the back because they had these little TVs on. And they would just play like random shit. But the bathrooms are right there. I know. Hopefully we won't cut out the video. But I'll get to the end of this story. So basically the bathrooms are right there. So even if you wanted to eat, you'd be eating right next to a bathroom. That's not fun. So I would leave the store because otherwise people would bother you. I actually had a customer. I actually had a customer.
Actually.
Yeah. Poke their head in the break room and go, "Hey, can you help me out?" Like, no, I'm not gonna help you out. No. Yes. Yes, I will. So I would leave the store, and down the ways. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. Down the ways there was a little cookie place.
Cookie.
Yeah, and they had fucking bomb ass cookies. And I would buy 2 chocolate chip and walnut cookies. They only like this big. And that would like be my whole day. And I'm like, woo, cookies! And then I'd go back to work. Fun. But I was in the middle of getting my cookies. And
Cookie.
it ended up I got a phone call. Like they came and got me because I had a phone call. Because they thought it was an emergency. So... they sent an employee to come get me, like, you have a phone call, oh my God, hope everything's okay. And I'm like, alright. So I went to the phone, and I'm like, yeah? And they're like, I know.
Who the hell is this?
I know. And it was Sports Authority, and they're like, oh, you passed drug tests, so we'd like to hire you. And I'm like, great. So I hang up, and I turn around, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to give 2 weeks notice now.
Fire me, I quit.
You can't fire me, I quit. Always. So, that's going to do it for us. Hopefully you can see this video. We'll see you in a couple minutes. If you want to listen to the entire audio, you can. We already told you where.
Please do.
We will see you next time. Thank you so much. Sean's got something to tell you. I don't know. Every time I'm like, whoa. Daffy's a jerk. I'm stuck.
Stuck?
I'm stuck.
Have a good everything. And next time you're in an interview and your phone hangs up on you, that's a sign. Stay with it. Don't call back.
Don't call back. Don't call us. We'll
the
call
hell
you.
with them. Just a bit outside.
I can't see anything. This is my problem. Hi, guys. I can't see anything.
I see us.
Oh.